Everybody, it's Brian Shannon from alphatrends.net. Today is Friday, the 28th of April, 2017, and another day, week, and month are in the books. For the month, we had a good performance here, and obviously the week was a very good one as well. We're going out at all-time highs in the NASDAQ. The S&P backed off just a little bit here today. Overall, for the semiconductors, we kind of just treaded water for the month, but oil was the big loser, as was the US dollar. So let's take a look at the charts and make some sense of it, where we've come from, where we have the potential to go. This is the week-to-date volume-weighted average price. So as of Monday, when we gapped higher, you can see that we came down and tested that week-to-date volume-weighted average price, and then tested it once again today, and that has held, along with, of course, what is the normal simple 5-day moving average here as well. If we get further pullback next week, I think that a important level that we'll want to see hold would be the volume weighted average price from this recent low on the 17th. So right now, obviously, that it's a moving average, but right now it's down here. Maybe it would be to meet up somewhere in here like this. I'm not calling for a pullback, but I'm saying if we see some weakness below the 238 level and it stays below there, that seems like a likely area for a pullback to find some support. And that's also, of course, where we have seen this 236.50 level that we've been talking about for a while now. So looking at the daily time frame, we have closed higher than this obviously before, but we made some great ground this week by continuing to move higher above all those rising moving averages. And on the weekly time frame, we're still obviously in a solid uptrend here. There's no sign of any reversal. If you think there is, then you've got a different analysis technique than I do, that's for sure. But trends once established are more likely to continue than reverse, and the key level that this market has been holding, that we've been focused on, has been that year-to-date volume-weighted average price. Another big level in the future at some point will be the volume-weighted average price since the election, but that's so far away now that it's really not anything relevant. So heading into next week, a little pullback wouldn't come as a surprise at all, and it wouldn't do any damage to this market. What we would be looking for is this general area to hold as support in near 236-ish really. The Nasdaq was higher every day this week, record highs. I guess not on Wednesday. That's not true, but record highs, and it can it's had a heck of a rally here the last couple weeks as it touched that rising 50-day moving average, and that occurred at about 130 and a quarter, and here we are $5.75 higher on a closing basis. So the rubber band is definitely getting stretched here. It doesn't mean it has to pull back. The important level that we held this week is that volume weighted average price for the week. I think that next week we'll want to see this general 135-ish area hold, and if that fails to hold, then we would look at a similar volume weighted average price from the most recent move, and that's from where for the Nasdaq's case, where it hit the rising 50-day moving average and had the strong bounce from that level. So these are our two important levels, 135-ish, and then this moving volume weighted average price level, which should continue to look like this. So there's no doubt this market's getting stretched, and we can see that the big leaders like Amazon, or hey, they gapped way, this one gapped way up and pulled back here today, but still overall just a massive uptrend for Amazon, for Facebook, for Google, and then of course for Apple as well, still in a solid uptrend. So it's hard to be bearish when you have all-time highs here on a closing basis in the Nasdaq 100. But so any pullback should be considered just that, a pullback within an uptrend. And if they fail to hold the 135 level, then look for the next bigger and more important volume weighted average price since that test of the 50-day moving average. The Russell 2000, this was a little bit disappointing because we broke above the range, and this is one group that we finished positive on the week, but The volume weighted average price for the week is up here at 139.5. Now, it doesn't mean all things are bad. We still have the volume weighted average price from the recent low, and that would get us down to about 138-ish. So I think that's really a level we want to see hold next week. Perhaps we're just, this market got a little bit ahead of itself in the short term and is pulling back. Backing it up to a daily time frame, of course, we broke beyond this bigger range that we've been involved in for pretty much all of this year and in December of last year. So we're pulling, we broke out, it got extended up there. So a pullback doesn't necessarily mean it's a failed move, but it has the potential to become a failed move. So we certainly want to be on high alert. Now, if this 138 level fails to hold, and fails to hold for more than about a half hour or so, then you want to just get a little bit more cautious overall. But not to panic and not to throw the towel in on this, because we have this prior band in here of resistance, which is right in that area, and that's what we'll want to see hold. Even if we get down into that 137.5 level, that brings us right to the conjunction of pretty much the rising 10, 20, and 50-day moving average. So I would not rush to be bearish in here. Today was a cautionary pullback. That's all it is. But the primary trend, we saw all-time highs here in the Russell 2000 this week. Now we backed off a little bit, and let's let it settle down before trying to get short. Unless you're a scalper or a day trader, you don't want to be short these things. Not when the longer term uptrends are so powerful as they've been in semiconductors, and we've seen over and over again that semiconductors in the last year and a half, 2 years have been obliterated in here, and we still have a rising 10, 20, 30, 40 week moving average. So still a strong uptrend. Definitely, one of the stronger groups out there. For the month, it was basically flat, but I think coming down towards the 79 level would not be a horrible thing, and maybe we start to see some more correction through time rather than a deeper price pullback. We've seen that the undercuts of the 50-day moving average don't really mean much, not when the 50-day moving average is rising, and it was the year-to-date volume weighted average price from where this move began as well. So taking a look at the volume weighted average price from that low and anchoring a volume weighted average price down there, you can see it comes right in at this same level right here of 78.80-ish or so. So, a little further pullback, digestion of these gains would be a perfectly normal, healthy thing for a bullish group like that to behave. The biotechs had a good week as well, and they made it past that important 294 level that we've been focused on. They're above a rising 10, 20, 30, 40 week moving average, and we are once again right up towards what's been an important, let me redraw that, what's been an important little band of resistance here over the last 6 to 9 months. All of these moving averages are rising. We broke a important level here at that 294, as we mentioned, and that was after the successful numerous tests of the year-to-date volume weighted average price. That's that purple line. It never closed below that volume weighted average price. It closed below the 50-day, but the 50-day moving average is rising, so we tend to give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers. But this one was really uncertain. It could have, had it broken down in here, it could have really led to a more significant decline in there. Fortunately, the buyers rescued it this week and did so, with a gap higher. But it's beyond this band of near-term resistance at 292, and getting back a little bit further, we're focused on to the that 292 level plus this little trend. That's not how I meant to draw it. Grabbed the wrong trend tool, but it broke this downtrend line, then it broke the resistance, and now for the week we can look at this and see that since that first gap higher on Monday, the volume weighted average price for the week did find buyers on Thursday rather, and we remain above that. So I think going into next week, we generally want to see it hold above about 293.5 to 294. If it can do that and stabilize, if it pulls back down towards that level, stabilizes, I think you want to look for strength to purchase from this area. The biotechs could finally be making the move that myself and a lot of people have been looking for in this group. Now that they, as long as they can hold probably above 291-ish, then I think you give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers going forward from here in the biotechs. I'm sure you guys had some great trades this week. We continue to hold some of this MLCO in alpha trends that were long from 1902 over. I guess we got to go back a little bit further. So we've been holding this one from $19.02 a share. We got stopped out of fuel today. We got involved right here as it crossed above this, made the higher high above that rising 5-day moving average. We got out of, unfortunately, we got stopped out of a little bit right here, but we did for a day trade buy more back here and then sell it up in this area. And we finally got stopped out of our balance at 5.22 today, $5.22 a share. So nice winner there. We're involved in some shares of meat where we now have taken a small profit and have our position protected with a stop where we can't lose money. We're long Ballard, but Ballard, don't forget that they report earnings Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, so I will definitely be cleared out of it before that. And we got involved in Fastenal today on the short side and covered 1/3 of our position right down here, pretty much at the low for the day, which was daily S2. That was our target for the first third. Now we'll lower our stops on the balance and see if this thing can continue to hopefully fall apart. It wasn't all good news for stocks. We had U.S. Steel really get hit hard. We saw, even a technology stock this week, Seagate, get hit hard. So it continues to be, as I always say, more of my approach is more of a bottoms up stock by stock basis, that I'm not going to get panicked by what the market does for a couple days. Our focus is and always will be on individual opportunities and individual stocks where we perceive a low risk, high probability setup. Hope you had a good week, and I'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.